Fine. So in this particular session, so we'll see with this concept of concat. Okay, so that is in your pandas data frame. So how do we do this particular concat? See, in the last session, we have seen with the group by. Group by was the concept of subdividing the data into smaller groups and then applying the aggregated functions on those things, sum, average, mean, or things. Now, when I say concat, concat is nothing but combining the rows of multiple data frame. So, what is the concat? So, it says concat is a function so which combines the rows of multiple data frames into a single data frame. So that means we have the data in the different data frames and you want to combine that and show as one output. Now, for that example, I have just have this particular data. I have a weather data report of the different countries. Like I have a India weather and also I have a USA weather. In India weather, you can just see instead of reading the data from the CSV file, I have manually fed a small data over here. So I have a cities. Okay, in India, I've just taken some of the cities data: Bangalore, Delhi, Mumbai. I have just given some temperatures. So this is my dictionary, which will have this particular data. No, okay, Bangalore, Delhi, Mumbai. So Bangalore will have this climate. Delhi, this is the temperature. Mumbai, the same way humidity for Bangalore, Delhi, and Mumbai respectively. And then I have even another data frame here. So I have taken this as USA weather data. Okay, this is again pandas data frame. So that means I'm creating the data frame with the help of the dictionary here. So here again I have a city. Okay, California, New York, Dallas. Okay, I think this is for testing purpose. I just added the Bangalore there. Okay, so I have just taken some of these cities of USA and I have added given some kind of random temperatures for that. Now what is that I want to do is let me print this to both the cities data. Okay, um, so let me print this particular weather data is my first data frame. The second data frame is USA, sorry, India weather and USA weather. Yeah. Um, Yeah. So this is my two data frame. So that means the first data frame which I'm talking about India weather. So this is the data frame which is being created. Okay, so or rather this is the data frame which is being created with the default row index as 0123. Okay, city is Bangalore, Delhi, Mumbai. Fine. The temperature in each city: Bangalore has recorded temperature of 28 with a humidity of 75. Bangalore, okay, have some data. Delhi, Mumbai have some data. Fine. Now the same way, this is my another data frame which talks about the USA weather. So you can see here, this is my second data frame, that is my USA weather. So again, I have taken some of the cities in USA: California, New York, Dallas. Now what I want is I want to combine both this data frame and I want to show as one single output. Okay, see, like if it is sales data, we have the sales happening in say south region and north region. So me as a director, I want to see the total sales irrespective of the region. Okay, now the individual person who is heading the South India, fine, so he wants to see only the sales of South India. A person who's responsible, a manager of north, he'll be responsible for the north region sales. But me as a director, I want to see all the sales together as one single output. Okay, in that case, I want to combine the rows of multiple data frames into a single one, and then I want to go ahead and do the analysis on that. So if you want to combine, that is where we use this particular function called as concat. Fine. Is concat is joining. So joining the rows of this one, multiple data frames into a single data frame. Now we'll just say how do we combine this. If you want to combine this particular rows, so we have this particular function called as concat. Okay, that is pandas dot concat. So in the pandas we have a method function called as concat. So in the concat, since I'm combining multiple data frames, so if you are giving multiple values, we always have to define in the list. Okay, so I have defined the list where I have just defined the data frame, that is India weather and the USA weather. whatever the data frames we created, we are just referring to this. So this is going to concat this both this particular data frames, and I say index is equal to true. So index is equal to true is what? So we have indexing which is given by default 0 1 2, and here again it is 0 1 2. Now when I say false, it will take this 0 1 2 0 1 2, but when I say true, it is going to create a new data frame which will be combining this both data frames. It is going to create a new data frame. This new data frame has to get another index. So I want this as 0 1 2 3 4 5. So that is where I'm just telling as index is equal to true. So I'll print this. Yeah. So you can see here is, okay, this is my first data frame, the India weather, and this is my second data frame, that is the USA weather. And when we see this one, this is the new data frame, which is having the data of India as well as the USA together. Index is equal to true, that means it has given the new index here. Okay, 0, instead of taking the same value 0 1 2, so you can see it has gone with a continuation. If I say false, so you can see 0 1 2 0 1 2, you'll be getting it. Fine. So why we use this indexing is used for searching the information, no? Fine. Yeah. So this is the concat. So it is combining. Okay, it's like a union operator. Database, we have the union operator. It is similar to a union operator. It combines the rows of multiple tables and shows us one single output. Okay. Now, when I'm combining this, I want to identify, okay, so this is representing for India, this is representing, this is the data of USA. I want to have a key field so that sometimes I want to see only the India temperatures, India weather data. I want to see only the weather data of USA. Okay, so I want to define the key for this. So for defining the key, yeah, I'm just using the same pandas.concat. So these two data frame that I'm concatenating, that is the India weather and the USA weather. And you can see here, I just say keys. Okay, I'm defining the list of keys here. So I've just given the keys as India and USA. So for the India weather, we'll have India as the key. And for the USA weather, we'll have this. Because we have two data frames, we have two keys here. So this will represent for the first data frame, this key will be representing for the second data frame. So when I display this now, so you can see here, this has a different identifier for this. India, this is representing. So we have a key. Now, what is the purpose of this is I can get only the weather data of a particular country. I can do a filter. Like filters we have seen with this in the list. Okay, the data frame. So we discussed about using the location. We used to do this particular filtering. I'm doing this particular filter. I'll just say data frame dot location. Since I have given this as key here, so I just say I want to say look USA. This will just give me only the USA weather data. So you can see here, this is going to get me only the data of the USA. Fine. Or I say India. It will show me only the data of India. Okay. So that means I have combined. After combining, I can even give a key identifier. So the purpose of the key identifier is I can do a filtering, okay, based on a particular key value. Okay, since here I have used a country, so I have just given the keys as the country names. Fine. Hope it is clear, no? Okay, so we have seen, like, how do we have two data frames. I have combined these two data frames with the help of the concat function. We have an indexing here. If I just define the indexing, it will define a new index for this particular data frame. So we can even read the rows based on the index. So that is, you want to read for a particular record data. Okay, but I say I want to read it based on the country wise, I can give an identifier. So identifier is given for the each data frame that we are reading, we are giving an identifier for that. And now the purpose of this is we can read based on the identifier. Okay, so the next thing here is, okay, so this was about the concat function. So let me come it out. Yeah, this is printing what the data and things. Okay, so now let us take an example here. I just again have this particular two data frames of the different temperature. Uh, I just say this is a temperature data frame, and I do also have a wind speed. So now in the previous case, what was happening is in the single data frame, we were having the temperature as well as the humidity. Fine. But now both the what I say the data frame is representing the same country of cities. Okay. But they have the different information. When you see in this particular data frame, we have the temperature. So we have recorded the temperature of the different cities, and in this particular data frame, so when you see this is a wind speed data frame, we have recorded the wind speed of the different cities. Again, have almost the same. Bangalore is there, Delhi is there, Mumbai is there. Now, let me show this particular data frames first. So here what is happening? Yeah. So we have these two data frames. The same number of rows and columns is fine. But what exactly is happening is the same city names are matching in both. But here we have a temperature and here we have the wind speed. Now, how will I compare this? See, when you're combining this, we have a concept called as a stacking. So that is what was happening in the case of Concat. So the data was stacked one below the other. So vertically it was being stacked. The first data frame and this was the second data frame. Now, if I stack like this, so what happens? We'll have a Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, the temperature. Again, Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore is the wind speed. So that means this row data is completely different. This is the temperature and this is the wind speed. So when I have the data, vertical data like this, I'll not be able to do the data analysis. I cannot do the what they say the average temperature, because this values has a different range. The wind speed has a different range of values. I In spite, like when you do a stack one below the other, you'll not be able to do the data analysis. You'll not be able to find the max min, because if you say max, obviously wind speed will be the higher than this. Okay, so this value is only. So now what I wanted here is I wanted this to be stacked one side by side. This is the what is the temperature data, this is the wind speed data. So I want the stacking to be done, okay, horizontally. So if you want to do the stacking horizontally or you want to concatenate horizontally, so what is that we will be doing is, yeah. So here again I say pandas.concat, I just say temperature and the wind speed. Now if you remember this in the NumPy, when we were doing this particular summing on your matrix data, we used the axis. When I say axis is equal to 1, the data will be done calculated horizontally. If I say 0, it is vertically. The same way when I say 1, so you can see this will be concatenated horizontally and you will get this output. So it says city, Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, temperatures. So again, city, Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, the wind speed for that. See, by default, axis is 0. That is, if I'm not specifying axis, then it is 0. When it is 0, you can see the stacking happens one below the other. So you will get the outputs like this. Since both have a different column names, it's not the same column name, that is the temperature and wind speed. So that means this data, the temperature is null, okay, but the wind speed has been provided. So here we have the temperature, but wind speed is null. Okay, so I wanted to stack it side by side. I'll just make this axis as 1. Now I can calculate what is the average temperature, what is the minimum temperature in this particular, this is my data frame. So I can just do those things. I can just say data frame dot mean So the average of this temperature is 36.33. So when you find the average of this is going to be 36.33. So average wind speed is, so when you take the average of this, it is going to be 71.667. Got it? So we are able to concatenate it. So generally, when I say concatenate, is combining the rows. Okay. By default, it is a union operator which combines one below the other. So if in case the situation is like this, like if you have both the data frame has a different recordings or different group of data. Okay. In that case, you want to join it side by side. We can specify access is equal to 1. So where we want this particular data to be concatenated, that is say side by side, that is we can say it's a horizontally, otherwise by default it is vertically. Yeah, this is about your concat. So the purpose of the concat is your joining. Okay, is a function which combines the multiple data frame into a single data frame. So we can combine the data from the multiple data frames and then do the analysis on that.